everyone and welcome back to Leicester Fan TV. My name is Josh. Coming up on today's show, I'm here reviewing, giving my thoughts on the game which has just finished between Leicester and Chelsea at the King Power Stadium. You can follow me on my personal YouTube channel which is Sportsa. All of my social media links will be in the description down below. If you are watching this on our Leicester Fan TV YouTube channel, make sure you do subscribe. But let's get into today's show. So it has just finished at the King Power Stadium, Leicester 2, Chelsea 2. A very good point at home against a very good Chelsea side under Frank Lampard. A decent performance today. We could have got the 3 points, but overall, a point is probably a fair result. And it's a decent result coming out of this top 4 clash against Chelsea. But coming off that heartbreaking result last time out in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg at Villa Park, it was always going to be very difficult to respond after that heartbreaking defeat. Obviously with the 90th minute winner, it was always going to be difficult to respond back in Premier League action today against a very good Chelsea side. And to be honest, to get a point, to get a draw, it's a very good result to bounce back after that defeat. And obviously Chelsea, they're doing very well this season as well under Frank Lampard, a very young squad, and it's always going to be a difficult game. And to get a point and probably being the better side, it's a very convincing result by Leicester today. So today's result against Chelsea sends us another step closer to securing Champions League football for next season under Brendan Rodgers. Obviously Chelsea being a top 4 rival, it was always going to be an important and a tricky game today at the King Power Stadium. And to get a point and to keep that gap between Leicester and Chelsea 9 points, it's a brilliant result today and a very convincing result with the point today at the King Power Stadium. So Brendan Rodgers made 2 changes from the side which started last time out in that Carabao Cup semi-final second leg at Villa Park. Hamza Chowdhury came in for the injured Wilfred and Didi, and Jamie Vardy came in for Kelechi Iheanacho up front. So we've got a very strong side, hoping to keep that consistent side, obviously with the back 4 and mostly the midfield. Obviously Wilfred and Didi with that slight injury, still getting precautions after that surgery he had. So Hamza Chowdhury came back in, and obviously Jamie Vardy, he's back to fitness, so he came in for Kelechi Iheanacho up front. But getting into the game itself, the away side started off the better side inside 10 minutes. Chelsea really dominated the opening proceedings, having a couple of chances here and there through the likes of Tammy Abraham. Leicester came into it a bit, but the only real chance came through Jamie Vardy in the first half for Leicester. A mistake from Chelsea, Vardy was set through, and a good save by Willy Caballero in the Chelsea net. But overall, the first half, it was mainly Chelsea, had a couple of chances as well towards the end of it. They caused Leicester a lot of problems from the cross, but overall, the first half was fairly dull. Not too many chances from either side. But moving into the second half, Chelsea started by far the better side. Frank Lampard must have gave his players a clear message to get at Leicester earlier on in the second half, and they did exactly that. Winning the corner about 40 seconds into the second half. Very poor from Leicester and very poorly defended from the Foxes as well, with the corner being taken. It was Rudiger who climbed tight to send it into the net and to give Chelsea the lead. A good header from him low into the ground. No chance really for Schmeichel, and that gave Chelsea the lead about a minute into the second half, which is a very poor start for Leicester and Brendan Rodgers' men. But Leicester went down the other end. It was Harvey Barnes who ran at his defender, got past his man, a slight deflection on the shot which sent it past Willy Caballero to get Leicester back level about 10 minutes after Chelsea scored. Very good fight back from Leicester, and that got Leicester level. Leicester continued to get at Chelsea, trying to cause the away side some problems, and it was Ben Chilwell who got his name on the score sheet for the second time this season. Poor goalkeeping from Caballero. Youri Tielemans found Ben Chilwell, who slotted it into the empty net, and that put Leicester back in front. A very good goal by Leicester in the end, and it was a good fighting spirit from Brendan Rodgers' men. But Chelsea went down the other end, won himself a free kick, and it was, guess who? It was Antonio Rudiger once again climbing high in the box with a beautiful header past Schmeichel. No chance of Schmeichel in goal really, looped into the top corner. Very poorly defended by Leicester. Again, we'll get onto our set pieces later on in this video with the zonal marking and stuff like that. But that got Chelsea level, and then Harvey Barnes went down the other end, had an absolutely huge chance to put it in, and somehow he missed. I'm not too sure how, but it was really poor from Harvey Barnes. Good ball by Vardy across. All Barnes had to do was slide it into the corner, and somehow he put it wide. Leicester had a couple of other chances as well, but overall, a draw was probably a fair result. So overall, a draw was probably a fair result. Both sides went at each other, in particular in the second half. It was a very entertaining game as well. And overall, a point against Chelsea is very good in any season to keep Leicester in the top 4 and to keep that gap between Leicester and Chelsea in the top 4, which is always guaranteeing Leicester Champions League football at this stage. But obviously, 2 Chelsea goals, both coming from set pieces. A bit easy for Chelsea to score into today's game, in my opinion. Obviously, both coming from the set pieces, both coming from Antonio Rudiger. Hopefully, we can clear that up. Obviously, there is a bit of a break until the next game in the Premier League because of the winter break. But the zonal marking, that really showed today. Obviously, with Rudiger, he got a lot of space to head it in. And to be honest, we need to clear that up. Obviously, someone needs to get on Rudiger and to stop that aerial threat. We have been struggling from crosses most recently, so hopefully we can clear that up in training with the winter break coming up. And hopefully, we can bring a bit better defending into the Wolves game in a couple of weeks' time. But if there was a side to go on to win the game, it probably would be Leicester, in particular in the second half. We had a lot of chances which we really did not take. In particular, Harvey Barnes, Johnny Evans had a big chance. Youri Tielemans had a couple of chances as well. And overall, Leicester, we had some big chances to take the lead, and and this could prove vital towards the end of the season. Today we really could have got 3 points, but overall, like I said, a draw is probably a fair result. But on another day, Leicester really could have gone on to win the game and to get the 3 points. In particular, those 2 big chances, Harvey Barnes and Johnny Evans as well from the corner. But so hopefully we can work on our shooting, bring that into the 2 huge games this month against Wolves and Manchester City. But that's it for my thoughts on the game. So let's get straight into my player ratings. This is where I rate each player's performance out of 10 from the side it started today at the King Power Stadium against Chelsea. Starts off in goal with Kasper Schmeichel. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Obviously conceding 2 both from headers. Couldn't really do too much about the first one. The second one, it was a brilliant header from Rudiger. Very hard to save that. It looped over him into the top corner. Overall, a decent performance from Kasper. His distribution was a bit over here and there. But overall, it's a decent performance from Kasper. Made a couple of big saves as well. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for Kasper in goal. But moving straight into the back four, start off at right back with Ricardo Pereira. I'm going to give the Portuguese international a 7 out of 10. I thought he could have got forward a bit more, just like Ben Chilwell did, but defensively, he couldn't do anything about the 2 Chelsea goals. So overall, a fairly decent performance from Ricardo at right back today. Moving into the 2 centre-backs, starts off with the right one with Johnny Evans. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I thought Johnny Evans had a very good performance today. Obviously, the 2 Chelsea goals are very difficult to defend against if you are going for that zonal marking type of thing. Obviously, had a big chance in the second half as well, which he probably really should have taken. But overall, a very good performance defensively from Johnny Evans today, so 8 out of 10 for him. Moving into the other centre-back with Kagalı Soyuncu. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. A solid performance from Kagalı Soyuncu today. He looked a little bit shaky defensively at times, but overall, it's a solid performance. Obviously, he's not the biggest of centre-half, so he couldn't do too much about the Rudiger goal. Obviously, Rudiger is a physical centre-back. He got in front of the defence and obviously got the goal. Not the best performances from Kagalı Soyuncu today. I've seen him have better games, but overall, a very good performance and a solid performance from the Turkish international. And finally, moving into the left-back position with Ben Chilwell. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Obviously, he got his name on the score sheet today. That's his 2nd goal of the season. His 1st goal did come in that 9-0 win against Southampton. But overall, Chilwell looked back to his best day. He got forward as well. Obviously, with the 2 goals from Chelsea, he's not the tallest of players, so he really couldn't do too much about the 2 goals. Obviously, coming from Rudiger, both from set pieces. But overall, a very good performance from Chile today at left back. Now moving into midfield, starts off in that defensive role with Hamza Khalji. Obviously, he came in for the injured Wilfred Ndidi. Wilfred Ndidi was due to start, but Hamza Khalji came in and had a very good game in my opinion. So I'm going to give Hamza Khalji a 7 out of 10. Obviously, he did what he needed to do in midfield, breaking up the play. A couple of mistakes here and there, but overall, a solid performance from Hamza today in midfield. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for him. Moving in front of him with Yuri Tillemans, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Obviously, he got the 2 assists today, 2 very good assists as well from him. But I thought he could have done a bit more in the final third as well. Obviously, he had a couple of shots himself as well, which is very promising to see. So yeah, a good performance from Yuri, 7 out of 10 for the Belgium international. And alongside him with James Maddison, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought the youngster went a bit missing in today's game. Obviously, he didn't get hold of the ball as much as he did against Aston Villa last time out in the Carabao Cup. I thought he could have offered us a bit more. But overall, it's a solid performance from Maddison. He made a couple of good passes here and there. And overall, a decent performance from him, so 7 out of 10. And now finally moving into the front three, starts off in the left wing position with Harvey Barnes. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I thought he had another brilliant performance today out wide in that left wing position. Getting on the score sheet once again. That's 3 and 3 for Harvey Barnes in the league as well. So very promising from him. Obviously his goal, slight bit of luck. It took a big deflection, sending it over Woody Caballero. But earlier on in the season, would he have shot? Probably not. He probably would have gone to a pass such as Maddison or Tielemans in midfield. So the confidence is really shining through with Harvey Barnes at the moment, and it's very good to see. And that showed once again today with a very good performance. And obviously he got his name on the score sheet once again. So 8 out of 10 for him. Moving into the other winger with Jose Perez, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 as well. A very good performance from Perez out wide once again. Him and Harvey Barnes most recently have been very good so far this year, really, to be honest. Last couple of games then too have really been shining through and getting their names on the score sheet. A very good performance from Perez today. Obviously, out wide, he could have even done a bit more, in my opinion. But Perez, a good performance, getting into some spaces, causing Chelsea a lot of problems. So yeah, very good performance from Perez today to 8 out of 10. Finally, moving up front with Jamie Vardy, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. A pretty poor performance from Vardy today. Obviously, he got replaced by Kelechi Iheanacho in the second half, and overall, Vardy's been struggling recently. In 2020 as well, he's been pretty poor for Leicester. Hasn't scored in 2020 as well. I know his wife's had a baby, that could be a factor, but overall, hopefully Vardy can rest up in his winter break, get back to his normal self against Wolves and Manchester City. They're both big games. Hopefully Vardy can come back. Obviously, he had that shot in the first half, and that was literally it from Vardy. He made the pass to Harvey Barnes as well in the second half, but overall, not much from Vardy today. Hopefully he can bounce back in the coming months in the Premier League as the season comes to an end. So that's it for the Leicester versus Chelsea match review. A very good performance today at the King Power Stadium and a very good result against a very good Chelsea side under Frank Lampard. Obviously, it's the winter break now. We don't play until 2 weeks' time-ish when we travel to Molineux to take on Wolverhampton Wanderers on Friday night. We also take on Manchester City this month in February, so February is a very big month for the Foxes. But hopefully we can pick up some results. We started the month off fairly well with a good result and a good draw against Chelsea at the King Power Stadium. But like I said, that's it for the match review. So if you did enjoy today's video and if you're watching this on our Leicester Fan TV, you should drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, guys. But keep it Leicester City, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.